Good morning, Bitcoin. We're live from the Baltic Honeybadger conference in Riga, Latvia, and we're joined by Alex Petrov from Bitfury. And we're just having a great discussion about economics and Bitcoin and why Alex thought Bitcoin was such a good idea. So we'll just kind of start there. Alex, what got you into Bitcoin? What excited you when you first heard about it?
So first of all, I was long time ago start looking for some solution would allow really to perform the payment for over the internet, because then the first online shops was start to appear. I was start thinking what the credit cards is not the really tool what allow you to perform like real internet deals. So the practically the clearing operations for credit cards is still taking 3-5 days, and this is not the speed what the internet is requiring you. So they also should get like something different, some different instrument that allow you to really pay in the shops easily. First of all, I realized there is a PayPal existing. So okay, I look on the PayPal, but after time I also realized it's not the really tool what I would like to see, the money. So the money also not the really the tool how it should look, because people can still manipulate each numbers. They can lock any accounts. They can put any fake numbers on any accounts, or the system by itself can be blocked or shut down because someone decides to switch it off or switch your business off. And then I initially discovered the Bitcoin. First of all, I was start looking what the vulnerabilities, what the weaknesses in the Bitcoin exist. So, and initially I tried the Bitcoin by itself. I checked the source code, and I think, okay, it's a great tool, quite simple, working quite easily, nicely, smoothly. But after some time, start digging deeper. I start to realize what the economy of Bitcoin are even more complicated. And I like the idea how it was constructed. So it was beautifully constructed equilibrium. There is a social aspect, the economy and the technical aspect was well balanced. And after like 5 years, right now I'm realizing I even understand even more deeper how it's working. And I'm still impressed by its beauty, how it's beautifully constructed by itself. A lot of people are right now trying to create their own blockchain, and a lot of people are making like false statement, trying to provide the better scalability in amount of transactions per second. But I think it's a false state. The different economies, they require absolutely different like features what you need to solve. And if you're building like the any altcoin, so it should solve like real cases. The Bitcoin right now is fitting like the global cryptocurrency beautifully, but the rest should really look for their places.
Definitely. And I think Bitcoin is kind of the global cryptocurrency, and it's something that we were looking for a long time. I certainly never liked the way that the banks were creating the money and just depositing it, the way the government was printing the money and just never stopping. And then with Bitcoin, we get to stop both of those problems, and people actually get to be involved. Like you can code on it, you can be a part of the community, you can help spread the word. There's lots of companies you could work for. So there's really a space for everyone in Bitcoin.
Absolutely. And of course, that is what Bitcoin fundamentally innovated, is that it is a monetary system without a single point of failure. There is no central party involved. There is only you. If you run a Bitcoin full node, that's it. You do not need anyone else. You do not need anything else. It's your full node. You make the rules, you verify them, and you enforce them. And that is a beautiful system. And so what are your thoughts on the importance of running a full node and how this emphasizes this innovation in Bitcoin?
So the full node is practically providing the infrastructure for a Bitcoin. So the infrastructure is definitely to work efficiently, should get the enough resources. So if you're running the full node, it should get the really good connectivity for internet, and it should get enough memory and enough CPU. Because if the infrastructure has like weak resources, the functionality and efficiency will be degraded. So running the full node from home is working mostly like a backup, because most of the users at the home have not very good internet connectivity. They have also the NAT. It's not the real IP addresses, and most of the full nodes are limited. But that also helps to support the infrastructure. It's also keeping the copy of a blockchain, and it's practically like self-equilibrium on the social level. If you'd like to access the network, you need to run the full node just to perform your operation. Business providing like more services, they more taking from the network, and they're practically more paying for the network because they're using more powerful nodes. Users are using more lighter nodes, and that's absolutely okay even in the social and business construction. I think it's beautiful.
Now, what did you think about the idea from so-called fake Satoshi that we should make the nodes really big so that they only exist in data centers, and that your average user with a Raspberry Pi and a hard drive isn't good enough for Bitcoin?
So I think this can exist like just the corporative structure, but it will definitely not will be any more like public available and public usable network. So from the Nazman side, he make also the false statement. So if you're creating like very high by requirements nodes, so you're practically breaking the basics of the economy. The blockchain, like a database, it's requiring some size. And if you're writing a lot of data, you can just overcome the evolution of the hard drives, and it will require so much space on the disk, but you will not be able to provide it. And it's not just about like statical size of a hard disk. It's a database. You should perform more searches over database. It's meaning if Bitcoin network right now performing like, for example, 10,000 transactions. So you're performing 10,000 transactions per like 1 minute. But if you would like to get for a limit, there you performing 1 million. It's the same like searching over database, which is size is a couple of times bigger, 10 million searches. And this is very heavy. It's not going to work in this way. Fee, what they are paying, it's practically the covering the operational cost of infrastructure, you're covering the size of the blockchain, and you're paying to add the new small record at the end. And creating just these bigger blocks, it absolutely doesn't solving the problem, because then you will get not the exponential growth of throughput, it will be sublinear. So it will hit some limit and they'll fall down. Proportion in the Bitcoin network is 80 and 20. So the blocks by itself taking only 20% of the network communications, and 80% is unconfirmed transaction. And increasing the block size, you getting the more higher load on the full nodes exactly by not confirming transaction, because they are propagating by network.
And yes, we saw all this with the user-activated soft fork, that it is really is important to run a full node. Yeah, so absolutely. Well, you are also the CTO of Bitfury. So could you please go a bit more into depth what you're doing there, and what you're up to here?
So I'm not the CTO, I'm Chief Information. But I have also technical background, and I know how the chips is designed. So, but the CTO is definitely the other one person. So my responsibility, including all the IT operations, and I'm also like an analyst. I'm trying to monitor all the Bitcoin ecosystem, all the businesses in surrounding, trying to understand what's happening there. Sure, like IT director, so I'm supporting the whole company on IT level, but at the same moment, I'm also trying to support the Bitcoin like a solution. I'm also trying to support and provide the additional solutions like Lightning Network, what the Bitfury was designing for a long time. So I deeply understand how SegWit is working, and I'm also trying to explain for most of people how the SegWit is really impacting and helping to improve the scalability for Bitcoin. So this is practically my work. So from sometimes, from some side, it's a little bit boring because you also taking care about the huge company. Bitfury right now is over 600 employees. Yeah, a lot of operations, a lot of offices. But from another one side, I'm doing the work what I like.
Just a curious question about Bitfury. Do you have any new products that you're working on, anything new and exciting? I know at one point you had a light bulb that mined Bitcoin, and a lot of people had this idea that we were going to put Bitcoin miners inside of toasters and Wi-Fi routers, and 21.co was going to get us all of them, and they became earn.com and all those things. But I was wondering if you have any of those outside the box or new products that you're working on.
So 21co make like a false statement, because if you like putting the really this small mining chip in power supply in the router, it doesn't help. So then like 1,000 chips are working in one single device, the efficiency is almost like 100%. You're losing just a little bit. But if you spreading them around the globe, the efficiency will decreasing less than 40%, because this is the speed of light, and distances and synchronization between chips absolutely killing their efficiency. But the bulb, what was working like a miner, I think it's really the good combination. So for people who would like just to mine something and get the light simultaneously, they can install the mining bulb, and it's working and also generating the Bitcoin. But the industry is changing so fast. So the product life cycle is less than 1 year. Yeah, they provide them like a good present for multiple peoples. We show them like a concept, and they would like to build similar products if it will be possible in the year's time. But it's more depend just to provide also satisfaction for
sorry, just a second. No, it's still going. It said change the battery. Let's
so, it runs out. But it's more just to provide also the satisfaction for customers. The industry is developing like waves, and then the new companies are coming and creating new products. The concurrency and life cycle of miners are decreased.
Well, and I've definitely heard of some heaters that have Bitcoin miners inside, and certainly when I had Bitcoin miners in my house, it was always hot and it was always loud. And this also reminds me of something I heard Vitalik say once at a conference. It was years ago, but he said when you ship a Bitcoin miner, it takes about a week and you lose about half of your value immediately. And that he said the only thing that made sense was to finish your miner, move it across the street to your mining factory, and plug it in as soon as you could. Is that true now in the Bitcoin industry?
Yeah, it's still true. The initial phase, then you're getting like the new chips, new equipment. You're getting like in first months the almost like 60% of your profit, and then it's decreasing till zero. So, and sure, the first days is more high costing, and logistics is playing the great role. And this is why you also should take care about all the logistics. We're delivering the miners like completed solution. They're building like for customers, keeping in mind and optimizing everything what is possible. You also mentioned the heaters. It's by occasion they have a sub company. It's Hot Mine. So they creating exactly the miners, what is working like a boilers, what is else working like a home heaters. You can just connect them instead of your like gas heater, and they can heat your house. So a couple of years ago, they had also quite nice project. So it was cancelled by the local authorities, but they was planning to sell the heat from a mining farm for a city to warm the cities or to warm the water. And they still ready to build them. Just by occasion, right now we are not using the location where the heat is the critical point. Like in Georgia, it's warm. Yeah. So, but by the way, in Georgia they also have the use of heat for growing tomatoes.
Well, that's a fantastic way to use the excess energy from Bitcoin mining for something good. So I think that's a great idea. Maybe one more question from Max before we run out of battery.
Well, you said that you at Bitfury were involved in developing the Lightning Network. So could you please go a bit more into detail on what you were actually doing there and on what you're working on right now and where you see the future prospects of the Lightning Network?
I'm not designing the Lightning Network. We have a separate team who are really working each day basis designing the Lightning Network, Lightning solution. It's called Lightning Pitch. It's one of the products of Bitfury. So initially, then I realized the potential of the Lightning. So they also get in touch with Elizabeth when the Lightning was just like a concept on the paper. And they also hire the developers who was not the employee for Bitfury. It was just chosen by competition, exactly to help the Lightning became like a real product. Yeah, so the Bitfury was find the developers by competition, and they are not like employees of Bitfury. They really choose the developers who are able and capable to build the Lightning by itself, and connecting them with Elizabeth, so they make the first prototype, really working prototype of a Lightning network. This team is still in Bitfury. Right now they are developing and still pushing forward the Lightning wallet. They design the Lightning Pitch like a product. They also have a coffee machine in the Bitfury office, what accepting the Lightning, because people who are really touching the technology better may understand what is pros and cons and better may improve it. The leader of the Lightning team right now is Vasily, and you can find him also on Bitfury site. So they also have quite nice product, the Exonom. You should also check it. It's a framework for building your own blockchain, and you can also use it like bridge, connecting different blockchains or running your own smart contracts. It's simplifying the design of the solution. And they also have crystal data. It's statistical and blockchain analysis tool, which allow you also to visualize the transactions.
So, first of all, thank you for supporting the open source development of the Lightning Network. That is amazing that you dedicate some resources and some capital to finance independent developers. That is so important. And that is what I talked a lot about with the people here at the conference on how we can support open source development. And of course, one part is financial support, right? But do you see also other ways of making sure that we develop here a prosperous product and that we can all participate in this?
Yeah, sure. So I think some organizations like the communities, foundations, I don't know how to call them, they should also support the developers. They should choose the best project and provide the financiation for them. They should also build the bridges between different projects, because sometimes people are trying to build the same product, but like small groups, they doesn't know what the rest teams are doing absolutely the same thing. And it's practically like wasting of human resources, because people are trying to invent the wheel by themselves without knowing what the other teams already reached. So they also, like a company, they have Bitfury Capital, and the Bitfury Capital is also looking on the market which products can be really interesting for all the community for Bitcoin like by itself. So in the investing also with funds to support the interesting products and projects.
Well, that are great ideas, absolutely. And so what are the future steps that you're going to take with Bitfury, and how can we support you in achieving these goals?
So we would like to build more interesting products, and like a company, they also should think how to generate the profit. So they still developing the new chips, they still developing the new products. They also designing the new software, and some projects will be announced quite soon. So they still supporting the community, and I think this is one of the points what they also would like to develop more and spend even more time starting even from this year. So, and one of the like announcement what was made, and for me it's possibly a bit surprise here, about the creating the foundation. So maybe not everyone is agreed about the name right now, but I think the idea about supporting the developers and helping also to present like better position about some aspects about the lightnings, writing the better articles about the technology. So it's really useful because like the distributed community, there is no people who are ready to spend their time just to write a good article that describe how the technology is working. There is no person who can in details answer and describe what is the pros and cons. And there is also no the managers who can organize the teams, connect them, and help them to interchange their knowledge.
And certainly we've had organizations in the past supporting Bitcoin developers. The Bitcoin Foundation kind of had a developer. MIT had a couple of developers. We've had those here and there, but there's always some risk that if you have them working for some organization, they're going to slant the project to serve their own organization. Do you think that could be a problem this time? And do you think this is the right model for supporting Bitcoin developers?
So I think right now we're exactly trying to fix that problem because Bitcoin Foundation was not working like it was designed initially. So and the MIT, they are working also like a little bit from a different angle. So the decision and conclusion what they get right now is exactly trying to solve all the previous minuses what they saw. So it's exactly should really support the developers. It should really provide the financial for interesting projects, and it should be really concentrated exactly on supporting the new inventions, new technology, community by itself, better writing the better documentation and so on. Everything what was failed before.
Well, I hope they achieve their goals. I'm not so certain about the format or the structure, but it is very early, so we'll give it a chance and we'll see how it goes.
Well, Alex, it was a pleasure talking to you. Again, thank you for all the stuff that you've done for here, the Bitcoin family. And we're very, very grateful all, and thank you guys for watching, and see you on the next show.